On 196, yes. All right, so for a full pitch roof, the height and the span are equal, right? So if this is 10, what's this? 10. Agreed? Okay. So for a full pitch roof has a span of 36 and a height of what? 36. What is the slope? Slope is rise over run, correct? In a triangle. So the slope is right there. There's the rise and the run. What is this distance? 18. Half of 36. What's this? Still 36. What's the rise? 36. What's the run? 18. So what's the slope? 2. Okay? So for B, the height is 1/3 of the span. So for B, my span is still 36, correct? But my height is now 1/3 of 36, which is what? 12. And my slope lives here. What's this? Still 18. What's my rise? 12. What's my run? 18, which is, of course, 2/3. So the slope is 2/3. Does everybody understand? And again, this is real life use of slope. Everybody cool? Okay. Any other questions from 196? Aaron, hit me. Of course I can do 15. I'm a teacher. Treadmill is set with a rise of 6 inches. So a treadmill has a rise of 6 inches, right? A run of 90. What's the slope? Rise over run. 6/90. Right? What number goes into 6 and 90? 6. 6 goes into 6 once and into 19 how many times? 15. So the slope is 1/15. Cool? I'm going to do B in a second when I know you're cool with A. Okay. So slope equals rise over run, correct? Okay. The treadmill is set at its maximum slope, 0.15. So it says right here, the slope is 0.15. Slope, 0.15, equals rise. I don't know what rise is, but I know my run is 90. Solve that. How do you get rid of divided by 90? Multiply by 90. 90 times 0.15 will give me my rise. What is that? How do you do that question? Get it. Excuse me.
13.5.
So the rise is 13.5. Yeah? Okay. Any other questions? Might I say, I'm very happy to see some of you actually did some work on page 196. You did the practice before the other stuff. Any other questions? 16B. A trench. Whoa! Slow down there. Slow your roll, big stuff. A trench is dug to lay drainage pipe. So, the pipe would go like that, yes? Oops. It must drop 1 inch for every 4 feet. Can I compare inches and feet? No, they're different scales. What did I say you had to do? That has to be 48 inches, right? So what's the slope? It's not 1/4, it's 1/48. Suppose the trench drops 6.5. So this is no longer 1. What is it now? 6.5. It's 6.5 bigger, right? So if this multiplied by 6.5, what does this multiply by? 6.5. 48 times 6 is 50 times 6 is 300 minus 12 is 288, and then half of that, 312. Okay? And C, suppose the trench is 18 feet. Right? Well, I know the trench used to be, I could go back to 4 feet here, couldn't I? 4 feet times 4.5 is 18, correct? So this has to multiply by what? 4.5 to get to what? 4.5 inches. Everybody cool? All right. Again, this is the type of question that you will be seeing on that government exam I was telling you about. Using numbers. All right? This is what I am talking about when I tell you people I cannot teach you every possible use of numbers, because every possible use of numbers is infinite. And I don't have an infinity of time. All I can do is teach you how numbers work. You all know how to draw triangles, right? You all know that 48 inches equals 1 inch. You got to be aware that obviously the slope can't be 1 over 4 because the run and the rise were measured differently, right? Same way we found the speed of something, right? Remember back in Unit 5 when we were finding the speed of things, 5 golden rings, when we were finding the speed here. We did not do the speed 12 meters in 4 minutes. We changed it to 3 meters in 1 minute. Right? Okay. Anything else from 196? Or are we ready to go on? Excellent. You will see the answers to 198 first, then we will carry on to our new notes. Some kids in the other class thought this was a question down here. It's not. It's a misprint. It's the next heading.
I did answer it.
We didn't even talk about parallel and perpendicular lines yesterday. How could you do a question about them?
You can make...
Yes, I know that, but we didn't talk about them. And if you look on the next page, what does it say? Parallel and perpendicular lines. All right. So, let's do these 4 answers here. Huh? I do need to come around. Huh? I know, I need to come around. Jiho, that's what I said. I do need to come around. But not everybody is there yet. Everybody will flip to there, and then I will come around. Has everybody flipped to there? Yeah. Okay, then.
So when you do this, is it for marks or to let you know who's like...
Once again, for the bazaar. Okay. What's the first slope? 7 over negative 2? Negative 2 over 7.
How do we solve that?
I'm going to show you because that's what I do. The same way you solved the previous 7 of them. X1, Y1. X2, Y2. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 2 minus 0 over negative 4 minus 3. 2 minus 0 is 2. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. There's the slope.
Technology.
Then you would still get negative 2 over, then you would get negative 2 over 7, which is the same thing. If you did it the other way and you switched those up, you would have had m equals 0 minus 2 over 3 minus 4, which would be negative 2 over positive 7, which is the exact same thing. Slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, we talked about that for a whole day. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Does that look like that? Not quite. What's different? The y is not isolated, is it? This y is isolated. So I can rewrite this as 2y equals 3x minus 4. Y is not isolated. How do I get y isolated? I divide by 2. Now y is alone. If I divide the left side by 2, what do I got to do to everything on the right side? Divide by 2. 3 over 2x minus 2. Then I said graph it. What is the point on the graph that we can get from that?
You can get
No, the 3 over 2 is the slope. It is a rise over run. You need somewhere from which to start. Negative 2 on the y-axis. Then you rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and you run 1, 2. Is 2 points enough to graph a line? No, you need 3. So you could either continue up 1, 2, 3 and over 1, 2, or you could have gone back to here and gone down 1, 2, 3 and left 1, 2. Whatever way you did it, you would have gotten a nice straight line. Yeah? Yeah. X-intercepts. What is every single X-intercept in the entire universe? X0. What is every single Y-intercept in the entire universe? 0, Y. That is an X value. X. What do you see there? 6X. 6X plus 3 times what? 0 plus 12 equals 0. Do I care about this value? No, because 3 times 0 is 0. 6x plus 12 equals 0. 6x equals negative 12. X equals negative 2. What's that letter right there? X. What does x equal? X equals what? So what is the point on the graph? Negative 2, 0. Then I do the same thing, but this one. Do I care about x? No, because x is 0. So all I have to write is 3y plus 12 equals 0. 3y equals negative 12. Y equals negative 4. What letter is that?
Y.
What does y equal?
Negative 4.
So the point on the graph is 0, negative 4. And then I just put them on the graph. Negative 2, 0, 0, negative 4. Is 2 points enough?
Yeah. No.
No.
You need at least 3. So
Down 4, right 2. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, right 2.
Or you can go up.
Or you could have gone up 3 and left 2.
Or up 4.
Or up 4 and left 2, I mean. And lastly, there's an M, there's one X, there's one Y, there's a second X, there's a second Y. Do we have any equation that use M, X1, Y1, Y2, X2, Y2? Yes. M equals Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Fill it in. What's M?
Negative 5 over 4.
Negative 5 over 4 equals Y2, Y minus 1 over 5 minus 3. Negative 5 over 4 equals Y minus 1 over 8. Cross multiply. Negative 40 equals 4Y minus 4. Negative 36 equals 4Y. Y equals negative 9. Any questions? Now, listen to me and listen to me closely. Where are the numbers coming from? Okay, ask it. What other... Yes, it's the same thing. I don't know why this question is asked of me all the time. Negative 5 over 4. Change it. 1 minus y over negative 3 minus 5. Negative 5 over 4 equals 1 minus y over negative 8. Negative 5 times negative 8 is positive 40. Equals 4 minus 4y. Minus 4 from each side. 36 equals negative 4y. Y equals negative 9. Ladies and gentlemen, where are all the numbers coming from? And where do they end up? You all took grade 9, yeah?
No.
X comma y. Right? X, y's live where? On a graph. Where else do you see x's and y's? In the equations. If there's an x in the equation, then does that x live on the graph? Yes. If there's an x on the graph, does that x live in an equation? Yes. If there's a y in the equation, where else will you find it? On the graph. If there's a y on the graph, where else will you find it? Back in the equation. That is all we are doing for the next 3 units. X's go from the graph to the equation or from the equation to the graph. Please turn to page 199. Everybody put a dot at negative 8, 0 and 0, 6. On this graph right here. I'm going to zoom in significantly so this is easier for you guys to see. Everybody cool? Negative 8, 0. And the other one I said was 0, 6. Everybody cool? Connect the dots. Tell me the slope. What did I rise? 6. What did I run? 8. So what's the slope? No. 6 over 8, which I would simplify to 3/4. Correct? Everyone agree? Okay, now, if I copy that line, just the line, and I slide it over to here, what do you know about this new... Hey, where did it go? Son of a... That's what I'm doing. Well, screw this poo. Just gone. Whatever. What do I know about this new line? What will its slope be? 6 and 8, which would be 3/4, yes? Now, will this original green line continue? Yes. Will this second green line continue?
Yeah.
Will they ever touch?
No.
They will never touch, so therefore they are what?
Parallel.
They are parallel. What do we know about the slopes? The slopes are the same. So, the point is, if lines are parallel, their slopes are the same, right? Is the reverse true? Of course it is. If slopes are the same, then what do we know about the lines? The lines are parallel. A lot of kids, for some reason, forget that there's two sides to every argument, right? You see two lines that have the same slope, you do the work and they have the same slope, you know they're parallel. But if you're told that two lines are parallel, you already know the slopes are the same. You don't need to do any work. Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next one is going to take two things to explain. First, what does perpendicular mean? Not necessarily. Perpendicular things, because it doesn't have to be a line, perpendicular things meet at 90-degree angles, like a floor and a wall. Everybody cool? That's what perpendicular means. Any two things that crash into each other and make a 90-degree are perpendicular. All right? What is the easiest way on a graph to show perpendicularity? Yeah, up and down, right? Everybody agree? So everybody make a line at x equals -7. Where is x equals -7?
Right. The left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Agreed? Yeah. And the line would look like this. Everybody cool with that? Right? Now, if I told you I only care about the line from there to there, how would you tell me that slope? What is slope always? Rise over run. How far did I go up there, Ethan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct? How far did I run?
Nowhere.
Nothing. 8 over 0, which is why it's undefined, right? Because I can't divide by 0. Everyone cool with that? Yeah? Okay, now, give me a line at y equals 2. Where's that? Right here, correct? That line goes from there, -9, and I want to go to there, -1. What's that guy's rise over run? Does he rise at all? No, so it's 0 over what's his run?
1, 2, 3,
8. What do you notice?
They're the same.
No, they're not the same.
Well, they're just reversing each other.
Not opposite. What's the word for flipped fractions?
Oh.
They're reciprocals.
Yeah.
Everybody cool? So, they're obviously perpendicular, aren't they? Because one goes up, one goes horizontal, yes?
Yeah.
So, perpendicular slopes must be reciprocals, correct? All right, now, everybody put a dot at 0, 0. And put another dot at 6, 5. I know that the screen just went off, but you can put a dot at 6, 5 without me telling you. Everyone cool? Yeah? Okay, let's make that line. What's that guy's slope?
6 is the run. 1, 2, 3.
Not 6 over 5.
5 over 6.
5 over 6. Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, make a rectangle and connect those two corners. How do those corners meet in the middle? Oh, damn it. It needed to be 6 and 6. 6 and 5 didn't work. It needed to be 6 and 6. Go one more dot. Go to 6 and 6. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for a later lesson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So what's that guy's slope? 6 over 6, right? 1. Agreed? Okay. What's then? Make the same square and cross them. What are all of these now? I've cut a square in half twice. What angles did I just make? 90-degree angles, right? What's this guy's slope? The blue slope. No, it's not 6, 6. What's the blue slope?
1, 2, 3.
It's going to be
6.
6, negative 6, correct? So, perpendicular lines, we already know the fraction has to flip, but what else has to flip? One's negative, one's positive. So, perpendicular slopes do what? Perpendicular slopes are what? What happened to the fraction? Are reciprocated. And what happened to the sign? And what do we call it in math when we switch between positive and negative? You said it for reciprocal, but what is it really? Opposite. Everybody cool? If they're parallel, they're the same. If they're perpendicular, they're opposite reciprocals. Okay? If they're opposite reciprocal, you know they're perpendicular. Everybody good? Great. Do the next 7 questions. Oh, wait. Forgot these. Parallel lines have same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal. So, fill in these next 7 answers. If slope 1 is that, what's its perpendicular? Negative 3 over 2. If slope is negative 7, what's its perpendicular? 1 over 7. I flip it and I change the sign. Slope is 4, what's its parallel? 4. If slope is negative 5/11, what's its perpendicular? 11/5. If slope is 0, what's its perpendicular? Where's 0? Flat or up and down?
Flat.
Flat. So it's perpendicular straight up and down. What slope is straight up and down?
Up and down is
1 over 0. Does that exist? So it is? No. Undefined. No, you said 1 over 0. Oh, I didn't hear that. So if I'm undefined, what's perpendicular to undefined?
Defined.
Oh, guys. It was a long time ago we compared vertical and horizontal. Vertical is undefined with 0. All right. Now let's do some math with this. I need to make a decision. Is ST parallel to AB? If they're parallel, then the slope of ST will do what with the slope of AB? They'll be equal, right? If ST is perpendicular to AB, then the slope of ST will equal I will have to reciprocate it. So that would be AB over 1 would be normal, yes? I would reciprocate it, so it would be 1 over AB, and it would be negative. Everybody understand? Okay, I'm confused. I want to know why everybody doesn't understand this. The slope is always going to be some number over 1, yes? Even if it's a fraction, it's still over 1, right? So if they're perpendicular, what will happen to this slope? It will flip to 1 over AB. And if this, whatever this is, this will be opposite. So it would have a negative, right? Yeah. And if they're neither, then the slope of ST will have nothing in common with the slope of AB. Right? So, what do I got to do? What do I need to find? I need to find slopes. Which slopes? I need the slope of AB and ST. Go. How do I find the slope of ST? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, before I go on, if you label your x's and y's differently than mine, does it matter? No. What was your slope for ST? 6 over?
6 over 3.
No. Negative 4 minus 1, Joseph. Negative 3. Negative 6 over negative 3 is positive 2. No matter what way you labeled, you will get 2. Is everybody good? So now what must I find? The slope of AB. I'm going to label AB opposite. I labeled the first one x2, so this one I'm going to label x1, y1, and x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is negative 1 minus 1 over x2, 5 minus 1. Correct? What's negative 1 minus 1? Negative 2. What's 5 minus 1?
4.
4. Would Mrs. Bag Crumble ever let you leave that fraction?
No.
What is it? Negative 1/2. Are these?
The same? Yeah.
They are perpendicular. Why? Because what should this really be?
2 over 1.
2 over 1. Did they reciprocate?
Yes.
Did they change signs?
Yes.
So they are perpendicular. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Okay. Read the next question.
The vertices?
What are vertices? Not the sides,
The corners? Corners.
the corners. If these corners make a right angle triangle, then what must there be one of? A 90-degree angle. 2 of those sides meet at 90 degrees. Right now, how many slopes would I have to check?
3.
I'd have to check all 3. Is there a shortcut?
Yeah.
Of course there is. What if I graph it? Do I need to graph it exactly? No, I just need to sketch it. Where is point A? Negative 3, 1. There's A. Is everyone happy with that? Where's B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up, 1, 2. Are we happy with that being B? And where's C? 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. There's C. Where is the only possible 90-degree corner?
C to B? No.
Right there, correct?
Well,
It doesn't look 90 degrees, but this is just a sketch, yeah? So I got to prove it. What are the two slopes I need to check?
C and B?
I need to check the slope of
CB.
CB and the slope of... Right. Go. What am I going to say? If I say no, you're going anyway. See? So what difference does it make? All right. He'll have another whole crack at Math 10. What is 4 minus 1? What is 3 minus minus 3? 6. Would I ever leave that fraction? What is it? 1/2. What about AC?
You just did CA. You're supposed to do CA.
Oh, I just did AC.
Yeah.
Son of a motherless goat.
I was going to say.
There we go. CB. I've already got those guys labeled as X2 and Y2, so I'm going to label these guys as what? X1 and Y1. 4 minus minus 2 over 3 minus 6. What's 4 minus minus 2?
That is 6.
6. What's 3 minus 6? Minus 3. Would Mrs. Bagcrumble leave that fraction?
No.
What is it? Negative 2. Are those opposite reciprocals? Yes. So is that 90 degrees? Yes, because they're perpendicular. So that makes this 90. So is this a right angle triangle? Yes.
Wait, what made it right angle?
The slopes were perpendicular.
Oh, okay.
Perpendicular means they meet at 90 degrees. Turn the page over. If they're parallel, what does that tell us about their slopes?
They're the same.
They're the same. So the slope of AB would equal the slope of CD, correct? Right? Okay. What's the slope of AB?
It's just Y2 is the way.
So what is it?
10 minus
10 minus 5 and
7 minus 3.
7 minus 3. If you labeled it this way. What is 10 minus 5? 5. 7 minus 3? 4. Great. What is CD? So 2 minus A over 0 minus 1, which would be 2 minus A over what? Negative 1. Now, if they're parallel, then what must those two things be? They must be equal, correct? We just spent 2 days figuring this out. What do I do when I have fraction equals fraction? Kind of. Cross multiply. What's 5 times negative 1?
Negative 5.
Negative 5 equals. What's 4 times 2? 8 minus what's 4 times A? 4A. Correct? What's my job now?
Algebra.
Get A by itself. What's got to move?
8, negative 8.
Negative 8, negative 8. What's negative 5 minus 8? Negative 13 equals negative 4a. Now what?
Divide by 4.
What kind of 4?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So 13 over 4 equals a. Is that a pretty number to put on a graph? But does that number exist on a graph?
Yes.
Sure it does. It's just 3 1/4, isn't it?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're happy. Okay. What if they're perpendicular? We know that line A, B is 5/4, correct? And we know that CD was 2 minus A over negative 1, correct? But if they're perpendicular, what has to happen to that guy's slope? It flips and
The sign changes.
changes sign.
So it's not negative.
So it's going to be 1 over 2 minus A, isn't it? Then what?
Cross multiplication.
Cross multiply.
5 times 2, 10.
10 minus
Negative 5a.
5A equals 4. And what do I do?
Get rid of 10, so subtract
Minus 10, minus 10. Negative 5A equals negative 6. A equals
So it'd be negative 6 over negative
6/5, because the two negatives will make a positive. Easy peasy. Grade 8 algebra, then we put it on a graph. Any difference? Nope. Anything even new today?
No.
One thing. Perpendicular slopes are negative reciprocals. Opposite reciprocals. One new concept. Nothing else new, right? Now, please listen. Again, page 202 offers you practice with answers before you try to do your assignment. What should you do first? Practice. Please notice you have a quiz. That quiz will be tomorrow. Aight? This assignment will be tomorrow. Aight? We're going to mark it tomorrow. Everybody good?
So the assignment's home.
Now, please notice there are 3 days left, and you will notice there are 2 lessons left. Huh? Easy math, right? 3 days to do 2 lessons. Then notice I have given 2 reviews. Why? No, I am not sadistic. Why have I given you 2 reviews on this unit when I have not done that before?
Because after
This is damn important. All of grade 11 is based on, both versions of the course is based on graphing.
Oh, God.
All of it. Friday, we're going to do and mark up to this one. Please note how it says theory. That is all theory. Over the break, I am assigning you this unit review. Now listen to me before you flip out. Your break is 16 days long when you include your weekends. Your review is 15 questions long, 11 of which are multiple choice. If you do 1 question a day, you'll have all your homework done. And 11 of them are multiple choice. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.